My name is Bruce Berry, and I am from Minneapolis. I'm a member of Vets for Peace and a veteran of Vietnam in 1968 during the Tet Offensive. And here we're at the Vietnam Memorial here in Minnesota at the state capitol. I was here for the dedication, and Westmoreland was here, and I believe it was in 1992. And there's somewhere in the range of 1,200 that were killed in Vietnam from Minnesota. I come here 2-3 times a year to just pay homage to and respect for those that were killed and could have been me. And yeah, my heart kind of sinks sometimes when I am here. Depends on the day.
Bruce Berry has been joined in his hometown this week by 400 friends. They're all veterans who've come to Minneapolis-St. Paul to protest the Republican National Convention. Many of them are Vietnam War vets, just like John McCain.
What is your rank?
Lieutenant Commander in the Navy.
And your official number?
624787.
John McCain, the American president Americans have been waiting for.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
McCain has put his record as a fighter bomber in Vietnam front and center in this campaign, particularly his 5 years spent as a prisoner of war in Hanoi.
I ejected.
On October 26, 1967, John McCain's plane was shot down over Vietnam. McCain was captured and held for 5 years in a POW camp.
I was on a flight over the city of Hanoi, and I was bombing.
In some ways, this is a story of two kinds of veterans. John McCain, who's running on his record in Vietnam, calling for an escalation of U.S. wars. Those members of Vets for Peace who've gathered here in the Twin Cities are trying to use their experiences in Vietnam to prevent war.
Yeah, we're not going to get rushed. We'll just turn around here just like someone.
My name is Ward Riley. I'm with Vietnam Veterans Against the War, Veterans for Peace, and I'm also associated with the Iraq Veterans Against the War. I'm here to try to save the Constitution.
And what exactly was the action today?
Well, we just wanted to peaceably assemble and try to draw attention to the fact that we're still occupying two completely innocent nations and that we're living in a police state.
While much of the focus of the anti-RNC protests centers around the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the McCain camp's promotion of their candidate as a war hero has once again made the Vietnam War and McCain's role in it an issue.
Well, I respect John McCain's having served his country, but by nature, dropping bombs on innocent villages in Vietnam does not make you a war hero. I appreciate that he was a prisoner of war, and I respect him for that, and he has post-traumatic stress, and I don't think a man with post-traumatic stress is a good man to have his finger on the red button.
My name is Steve McEwen. I served in Vietnam from 66 to 67. If anything, he should be using his experience to try and prevent war instead of trying to do the things that he's doing right now to heat it up.
My name is Mike Hasey. I was a medic in Vietnam. I served in Vietnam from 1970-71. I got there toward the end of the war, so I was seeing the homicides, the suicides, rampant drug addiction, heroin addiction, shootouts. We had assault helicopters, we had Cobra gunships, we had APCs, we had Dusters, we had 155 millimeter howitzers, we had 175 millimeter howitzers, and we were killing people.
John McCain, of course, is also a Vietnam vet and is running in part on his war record. Your response?
You know, he had 23 combat missions over Hanoi. I know what those airplanes hit. I have many friends that have walked into villages that have been bombed by napalm, have killed hundreds and thousands of innocent civilians. He bombed civilian targets because civilian targets are military targets. You have to remember that. It's the most important thing that you can remember. We kill innocent civilians on purpose. They are military targets. This Geneva Convention stuff is bull. And that's what we're doing on Iraq. That's what we're doing in Afghanistan. That's what we did in Vietnam. That's what we did in Laos, Cambodia, Panama, you name it.
Both the Republicans and the Democrats refer to John McCain as a war hero.
I got a Bronze Star in Vietnam. Am I a hero? No. I made a difference in Vietnam, and I'm proud to a large degree. I'm proud of my service because I think I made the difference between helping a lot of people in Vietnam with their injuries. Because, like I say, I saw injuries. I saw dead American soldiers taken off of helicopters. And you know, gentlemen, there is nothing worse than to see an American soldier take his last breath. And there's nothing worse than seeing a dead Vietnamese civilian that was killed irresponsibly by an American GI. I get so tired of this hero stuff. I was not a hero in Vietnam. End of story. Bronze Star or not, combat medical badge or not. I did my duty in Vietnam, but John McCain riding on a hero status? Give me a break. You know, I get so tired of John McCain thinking he's the only one that was damaged in Vietnam and with his post-traumatic stress disorder. It's funny that when he came back as a POW, they never interview the enlisted men that were in those camps. And I know some of those people that were in those camps.
My name is Hal Muscat. I'm with Veterans for Peace, San Francisco Bay Area. I was in the U.S. Army from 1965 to 1970.
Keep that faith. Keep your courage. Stick together. Stay strong. Do not yield. Stand up. We're Americans and we'll never surrender.
I don't trust him. I don't like him. I don't think he speaks for veterans. I think he speaks for a very small, very too vocal minority of right-wing veterans that would just as soon McCain said, Vietnam wasn't fought right. We're going back.
Vietnam War vet Ward Riley has a message for today's generation of veterans.
I say they should be out here on the streets with me protecting the Bill of Rights, which is what we swore to uphold. We swore to defend the Constitution, not blind obedience to the Commander-in-Chief. And the oath we took was to defend this nation against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. And right now, the domestic enemy is in the White House.
For Democracy Now!, this is Jeremy Scahill with Rick Rowley of Big Noise Films in the Twin Cities.